Now that George is here and everybody, welcome to the OSEHRA Working Group for VA PALS, August 15th, 2018. Here's your usual warning that I am recording this, so anything you say can and will, well, you know the rest. We're going to do 2 or 3 things today. David hopefully will be able to show us a little bit about CCOW and explain to us maybe a little bit about what CCOW is. And then Kathy's going to show us, kind of give us a little walkthrough of the current user manual. And then we'll see what we have time for. So, David, give it a try. I think this one you go ahead and share content yourself instead of me giving you the talking stick.
Okay.
If yours is like mine, there should be some buttons towards the bottom of your screen, but it may not be.
Do you think I have to become the host first?
No, you should just be able to share content.
Okay, it says this meeting type. Says this meeting type does not support sharing from the web app. See if I can switch to desktop app. It says.
Huh.
I'll give that a shot.
Okay.
It does not look like that's going to work. It doesn't even let me do that.
Okay.
I don't think I'm going to be able to this time.
Okay.
I'll have to try to figure out why I can't get sound to work in my virtual machine.
Sure. Kathy, I don't want to startle you, but are you ready?
I'm not easily startled, and yes, I am ready.
Okay. Can you share your content? Awesome. We see something.
All right. So, yeah, this is, excuse me, this is the user manual so far. Writing documentation while the software is still being written is very much hitting a moving target. So what's in here reflects what the software looked like the last time I did a comprehensive walkthrough, which was sometime in July. I have been spending the time since then on converting it from NeoOffice into Word because VA prefers their documentation to be in Word. So that's kind of where we're at with this now. So we've got the title page with the logos on it. I have not yet copied over the copyright page. I thought I had. There it is. I probably need to go before the table of contents. I put it in the wrong place. Anyway, we have the table of contents, and essentially after the orientation and the introduction, I'm just walking through the forms one by one. This software is very much web-based and centered around the forms, so I centered the documentation around the forms as well. And the text itself is very much, we use a lot of screenshots just to walk people through and show how, you know, how to select a patient, and then how to select a form, and then one by one going through the various forms and how they are to be filled out.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
So other than just showing that we have this and this is what it looks like, I don't think that we need to spend a whole lot of time on this. Does anyone have any questions about it?
I think it looks lovely. Ardit, does this look like something that is similar to what you guys might have in the way of documentation?
Yeah. In fact, this is probably a little bit more comprehensive. I don't think we actually went to the, I don't think we actually took screenshots and things like that. So this is good.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Could you show us one example of one form that you go through in the manual and see what kind of documentation is in the manual?
George, I can barely hear you.
Could I see one form, the documentation for one of the forms?
Sure. Let's start with the intake form then, since that's the first one. And I just go through, rather than taking a screenshot of the whole thing, which would be too long for a page. I've broken it up into pieces. And so we start off with the contact information for the intake form. And what I did here was, go onto the site and put in some obviously fake information just to show what this looks like when it's filled out. And we've got the green check mark to show that the date of contact is a valid entry. And then there's some text on how to fill this out. I'm not sure even at this time how much of this information is going to be pulled over from CPRS and how much of it the nurse navigator is actually going to have to enter. So I'm kind of deliberately hedging that. And then the next section is on smoking history. And again, I went to the site and filled out the form partly and then took a screenshot of that to show what it looks like when it's been filled out. And a highlight here is that when you fill in number of cigarettes and packs per day and how many years, it does calculate reported pack years. And then the final bit, I didn't actually do a screenshot of the final bit, which is just documenting the informed decision making. And then after that, it moves on to the next form, which is the background form.
Could we have a quick peek at the CT evaluation form section?
I can do it, but you guys have made so many changes in the CT evaluation form. I don't know how current this thing is still. But here's the chapter on the CT evaluation form. And as with the other ones, I just filled out part of it. I did take a screenshot of the tabs to show that there are multiple tabs that can be filled out. And my warning that this form is quite lengthy. But then I start with the first tab, and I think that in this tab I was able to get all the fields onto one screenshot, and again just filling out with obviously fake information. And then the nodule grid, I explain it, and then I do have the nodule grid, takes up a whole page just for the screenshot. So just because of where the pages were breaking, I have the explanation, a lot of the explanation first, and then the screenshot, and then some of the rest of the explanation there. And then
which will certainly change.
Yes, most of this is going to change if it hasn't already. I need to go through it again.
Yeah. Well, we've got another tab in CT Eval now, so.
Oh, we have more than 4?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
We added another one, so.
All right. See, I knew this is hitting a moving target.
Indeed.
But we want the software to be what the users want and need, so that's fine. I'm happy to do this. So the other abnormalities tab, again, I actually only took a screenshot of part of the tab. I deliberately cut it off because this goes through a lot of very similar looking questions, and I didn't think we needed every single one of them in the screenshot, just to give an idea. And I don't think I did a screenshot for impressions and follow-up. Yeah, I didn't. I think that's because at the time that was kind of in flux, and we're still, I think, trying to figure out the mechanism for distinguishing between lung RADs and LCAP protocols. And that question hadn't fully been resolved the last time I went through this. So I kind of skipped a screenshot on this and just kind of did this, yeah, you can do impressions and follow-up, and it will make sense. So that's what the C2 evaluation form looks like now. Now, obviously, I need to come in and do some updating, but I want to wait to see changes because you still have more to do, I think.
We do have a few more to do, but we're getting closer, at least until they give us more changes.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you, Kathy. That was lovely.
Okay.
So, right. I wanted to show you guys a little bit about some stuff in JIRA. So I will share my screen. Man, I have a lot of windows open. I need to shut some of those. But this is the one that this is JIRA, and JIRA has some reports that I just found not too long ago. So I thought this might be interesting to look at real quick. You can see that around May 16th, Dominic finally got through to us. We found God and religion. So we are now actually using JIRA, unlike before when we were kind of like going, oh no, don't make us use that. And actually, as far as I'm concerned, it hasn't been as rough as I was afraid of. So that's often the way. But I thought it might be heartening for the team to see that we have really been upping our game on getting things done in the last few days at least. And that's partly because we've been working along on several issues at the same time. And I've finally found time to go through and do some testing to make sure that what we think is done is actually done. So that helps. And then I think we've also kind of taken another step up in our comfort with JIRA. Anybody have any comments they'd like to make about this diagram? Okay. That was the one that seemed to be most useful for the way that we're using JIRA right now. I wanted to show you, this is our Kanban board, which seems to work better with the way that it works than your traditional Agile board. I'm not remembering my words as well as I used to. So, but anyways, so we have, yesterday when I looked, we had 128 issues that are done. We have, I think the last one I made was like number 2 issue number 273, I think it was. So we still have a ways to go, but we're, I thought I'd written it down. Anyway, but we don't have to do all 273 for this version. We've gone through, Dom and I especially have gone through, with Ricardo's help, I believe, to figure out what things need to be in this segment and which need to be in others, need to be done later. So we have, our backlog has issues on it that we will be considering once we've had a chance to finish. May have to go through and look at those. Some may be done already anyway. Anyway, so that kind of gives you an idea, I think, of the, I guess, the flow of the project so far. Any comments or questions? Okay then. I guess. Go ahead.
Linda, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, I think I got it to work. I'm inside of the Windows 10 virtual machine now in this meeting.
Sweet. Okay. Well, give it a try.
Okay, so shall I try to share content here?
Yes, please.
All right, let's see what I can do. This gives you a bunch of different options. I'm just going to go ahead and share the whole screen, I think. Okay.
Cool. So it says, thanks for using WebEx. So it looks like we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
So could you briefly tell us what CCAL is, and then show us?
Sure. And I'm probably not the best person to explain this because I don't actually know a whole lot about the VA's CCAL implementation or anything, but CCAL is basically about clinical context management. So the idea that you might be using multiple applications, each with their own user interfaces, but everything interacts seamlessly one from the other. And we have a very partial implementation of CCAL that hopefully will be expanded upon, such that when you select a patient in CPRS, there will be a link that you can go to, or a button that you can push, as it were, out of a menu that will open up the VA PALS application. And if that patient was one that was already enrolled or registered in the VA PALS system, then it will automatically take you to the web page with the case review. And if it is a patient that was not enrolled in the system, then it takes you basically to the patient lookup page. Currently, there is no going back, though. So if you change the patient inside the VA PALS application, it won't reflect in CPRS, although that is something we're going to be exploring. So nothing left but to go ahead and do it. All right, so this, I'm going to choose this first patient here, Lainey Ebert, and this patient should not be registered or enrolled in VA PALS. So if you go up to the Tools menu here and click on VA PALS, pops up the patient with the patient lookup. So then we went back into, let's see, the CPRS, and we had Ebert 478. So you can see that it's not, there would be something here that says that they were enrolled. But from here, you could either choose them to go ahead. If you submit here, then you could enroll them, etc. So now I'm going to go and get rid of that, change the patient to one that is enrolled. This very first one here, Aubrey Abbott, should be enrolled in VA PALS. Now we'll go up here, click on the PALS menu option, and we automatically get put right into the case review for that patient with all the different forms and everything else that you would normally expect. I think that pretty much concludes the demo. Unless there's anything we or see.
So do you know if it will eventually do it so that if a new patient is not enrolled, it'll pre-fill the patient lookup field with that?
Say that one more time, please.
So when you did the Ebert person, it didn't. You had to type in the name in the patient.
Yes.
Will
yes.
it? Yes, that's correct. Or yes, we'll be able to go automatically.
We discussed this, and it was decided to do it this way. And you'll probably want to talk with George as to what the rationale for that decision was. But I was going to make it so that it would pop that patient right away.
Okay.
But I don't know exactly why it was decided not to do that. But that is something that could be added for sure.
Sweet.
What I was arguing that automatically.
George, it just can't hear you.
All right, never mind.
I think I know what George was trying to say. He was saying that what we didn't want to do was to have it pop up that patient and have them be already, enrolled from the very act of choosing it out of the menu if it wasn't enrolled. And when this particular implementation was created, the way that the forms, the way the flow for the forms were, that's kind of what would happen. But I think there has been some work to change that, so that's probably something we need to explore again. If there is a form that we can pull up, like sort of a pre-form that has them there, that asks you if you want to enroll them before you do, that was what was missing before.
Okay. Okay.
So hopefully I did justice to what you were trying to say, George.
Yes, thank you. Yes, thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Awesome. So anybody else have any questions or comments? Any questions or comments on anything that we've talked about or having to do with VA PALS? Because I am just about ready to call this a wrap. Okay, so I just wanted to say hi to Sarah, who's just come on, and tell her that we are now adjourning. So I'm afraid you missed it, but I have recorded it, and we'll be putting today's call up. I will try to put it up later today and send out the URL. Everybody have a good day.
Thanks, Linda.
Thank you.
See you guys.